This week we entered a state with a bit of a rocky start. It's a little tight here.
About the time we got in and got settled, air conditioners on, food's warming up in the microwave, we got a knock on the door.
I think this is probably going to be our one day in Massachusetts on this trip.
We have a little bit of anxiety about getting out of here.
We walk through how we navigate a difficult exit. Then I give you an episode that I try to avoid. But here's to another disaster in the kitchen with Ange. Be fine. Well, we have an hour and 15 minutes before we need to leave. It takes an hour.
Yep.
I did miss an ingredient.
I'm actually going to read the instructions.
Massachusetts is a brand new state for us. Our first day in Massachusetts got off to a little bit of a rocky start.
Arriving at Quinnipiac Cove Campground on the left.
It's a little tight here. Just a little. We had to maneuver just so to avoid a few obstructions, including a vehicle. And with the bedroom slide, we just had to accept that there's going to be branches there, which I think will be okay. They're soft enough. But we're in, kind of. We're in. Home sweet home. I may or may not have bent this drawer. Pushing the slide out, fun.
Oh, that one's bent good. I mean, I can probably straighten it by hand a little bit. I would be lying if I said we haven't damaged these drawers before. In fact, when we first picked up this RV, on our very first trip out of the dealership, we stopped for an overnight at a rest area and did not check this, and we broke them. So, I'm not overly intimidated by working on these. Just a little bit not straight. A little redneck engineering. It probably needs new tracks. This stuff's pretty flimsy. You can't do much with it. It's got to slide back in that bracket. You can see rather than taking the tracks all the way to the wall, they thought it'd be a better idea just to put this little false wall here. That's all that holds your drawers on, is this little false wall that's not screwed to anything. It's a little wonky, but it's better. Yeah, it shuts. Add that to the later list.
That later list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Always a later list. And the rocky start may turn into a rocky finish because there's a pretty good chance we're going to get asked to leave our campground, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
With the potential of us maybe leaving tomorrow, we need to properly put our sticker on the map, which means we need to get out today, explore, and do what we do. Cody and I both picked a couple of things to do today.
Surprise, surprise, Angela finds the activity that was probably meant for kids.
These are believed to be real live fossilized dinosaur footprints in this bedrock. We're right here off of the Connecticut River, but you're supposed to be able to see them all throughout this little pathway. One, it's free, and two, it's dinosaur feet.
Let's see how many we can find, shall we? Yeah, that might be a foot. That's probably a foot.
Now this could be Sasquatch too, right? They're believed to be about 190 million years old. There was a Yale professor that deemed them fossilized dinosaur prints in the 70s.
And what the heck are we doing in Massachusetts anyway? Well, this is our last stop before we get to the Hershey RV Show next week, which we're really excited about. Hopefully some of you guys are planning on coming out there and meeting us. We got a few cool things planned for the show and around the area.
Now what's that? I didn't know that they had venomous snakes here.
It's kind of a surprise. So I guess we go that way, or so it looks. So we mentioned we had a little bit of a bumpy start getting into this particular campsite, and we have to watch this because sometimes we stay at awesome campsites like the last one we just stayed at, and then our expectations get really high and we get let down pretty easy. It's just kind of like the human condition. About the time we got in and got settled, air conditioners on, food's warming up in the microwave, we got a knock on the door because we'd forgot to pick up our gate card when we checked in. And since they noticed the dogs, they said, oh yeah, we got to have your vaccination records on the dogs. Now, we had marked that we had pets with us when we came in, so obviously they knew there were dogs coming. Problem being, we don't have those vaccination records.
This is something that they had posted on their website, not in the confirmation, but it read to me as though documents had to be filed at the office for seasonal guests.
It did say...
Not someone staying 6 days.
It did say verbatim, seasonal guest. And it's not a big deal because our dogs are vaccinated. But if you've been following along, I don't like paying anyone to do anything that I can do myself. So since I was a young kid growing up on the farm, yeah, we took our dogs to the vet if they were sick, but not for vaccinations. You go down to the local co-op, get your 7-way, get your rabies shot, little shot in the back of the neck, and you're done. Now we do have a sticker and a receipt. Problem being, we offloaded a whole bunch of documents into our safe back at home base in Illinois, and I'm 99% sure that's where they are because I can't find them in the house.
We have one glimmer of hope, and that's when we took Charlie in. We had that document with us. We're hoping maybe they scanned it.
Maybe they made a copy, put it in our file, something.
And can send it to us.
But it was from me doing it, not the vet. So I'm kind of skeptical that they would have kept it anyway. They seem satisfied with it.
Or that the campground will even accept that as an option. And that's only one of our dogs. So I think that we're
probably going to get asked to leave.
Probably going to get asked to leave. She did give us until Tuesday, since it is Labor Day weekend. From a health standpoint, we have not been concerned with the dogs.
No, they're vaccinated. They're
From
good.
a documentation standpoint, we knew that eventually we needed to just go get them a vet checkup so we have the vet papers, especially if we are going to cross the border.
Because it is required.
So it's not that we haven't been discussing it, but we sure didn't expect in the 3 years that we've been on the road that a campground would enforce it for a weekly stay. In the event that something happened and they got into a tussle, we need that information.
So we'll make it a point to.
We're gonna have to prioritize it.
I mean, I hate to spend money, you know.
Yeah, we know.
You go spend a few bucks at the farmer's co-op and get a vial of rabies shot and proof that you did it. So I hate to go pay someone to do something that I can easily do myself, but this is the world we live in.
I mean, this was the kick in the seat we needed to get it done. For the here and now, it kind of seems like we're gonna be hitting the road earlier and we're gonna find a new place to stop off in the meantime. I think this is probably gonna be our one day in Massachusetts on this trip. Our second workout today led us to some ruins before we get to walk downhill.
On the way back, mostly uphill on the way up. Not bad, about 1.5 miles. All trails called it moderate.
These ruins have a lot of history, but instead of going into that, I'm going to summarize it. Like any other ruins that you see, it's very often a rich person that built something elaborate and beautiful to bring in more rich people. But it brought us. He went on to try to build this hotel, and then it burned down in 1901. So this is kind of where it ended.
I'm just out for the nice hike.
At least this one is free.
It is, well, it's really not free because we had to pay 20 bucks to park in the parking lot. We did not bring the mosquitoes with us from Maine, thankfully, because those big old thumb-sized suckers, they can just stay where they were.
I think Springfield is around here somewhere. This is very paraphrased, but he did begin the foundation of a grand hotel, or at least expanding it, and something about an incline railway too. So that's this foundation here.
That's pretty impressive that through stonework they were able to make those arches. I couldn't make anything like that, and I've got way more advanced tools than what these guys had.
That was a fun little outing.
Yeah.
Once we get down this hill, I'm gonna reward Cody with some food.
Not just food. I'm picking the place.
Yes. We're gonna try to find something unique or at least iconic to the state if we can.
If not, we're gonna find the first Mexican joint Cody can see, because that always sounds great to me.
You pick your treat.
Head back and see if we still have a campsite.
405 calories on that walk.
I got 400 on the nose, 3.6 miles.
Nice. And I got 5 something this morning. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It means we earned calories for food.
Uh-huh.
Now we need to figure out where we're going.
Gotta love small parking spots.
We failed at finding a unique restaurant, so we decided on pizza.
But right now, the truck needs fuel, the truck needs def, I need food. My pizza meter's really low.
Your pizza meter stays low.
Another chore checked off the to-do list. Stupid def lights off. That thing gets really serious too. When you get under about 100 miles, it starts dinging you every mile to remind you that it's going to derate you. I normally don't like to run anything that low. It's just kind of the way things worked out with what I had in front of me in Maine. I was only able to get a single 1 gallon bottle at a gas station in Maine, and that got me here. So now we're good to go for a while. I often tell Angela when we roll into a difficult campground that we've got all week to figure out how we're going to get out. We don't quite have all week this week, and we got a little bit of anxiety, so when in doubt, drive it out, walk it out. If we were hooked up to our rig right now, we can turn right and make a pretty sharp curve uphill. That's option 1. Option 2 is to turn left, and we got a couple options from here, but we're just going to drive it out. I do this a lot. I don't always show it on camera, but I try to just drive out as if I had the rig behind me, and knowing that my truck takes big wide turns.
And we're on quite the incline coming out, so we think that left may be a little less steep and cause some issues with clearance.
Path of least resistance is to just go straight through here. It's a little narrow, not bad, but what worries me is up here on the left, there's often a larger Chevy pickup whose tailgate kind of sticks out into the road, and you can see from this angle, if we come out here, if there's a car parked right here, we are in trouble. If there's not a car there, we can sneak through. We're probably gonna maybe kiss the edges of those soft tree branches, and then we get to the exit, which is kind of a, steep downhill, no big deal. I'm not worried about it up to this point.
We didn't sing the trash song. Let's try this one more again.
The other option would be to come back up the hill the way we came in and then make a hard right down this road. I like this route even less, to be honest, because that's going to be a wide turn around that tree, and I'm going to have to go way up in his yard to make it, but I can make it. So once we get here, all roads lead right. Any directions to anywhere have us taking a right out of here, because that's going to put us on the interstate the quickest. As you can see from where I said, if I come down this hill, the odds of me getting this truck and a 36-foot fifth wheel turned through right here without either having a real big risk of either hitting the sign or the rocks on the road, or not having enough room to stretch out into the highway to execute that turn, because it's only a 2-lane highway. So getting out's going to be a little bit of a challenge, and I'm a little bit worried about this dip here and maybe making contact with the bed. I'm not so worried about that as long as we go slow. So I'm already not really a fan of either of my first 2 options, which involve coming out at this particular exit. We're going to go ahead and take a left as if we were going left out of here. We're going to go ahead and drive this road out and see what it looks like, because going left is probably the right thing to do. See what I did there?
Cody's got jokes.
Go to Google Street View and click the arrows and just kind of walk your way down the road. So it looks like this is just going to run us back to Highway 20. This route looks okay. So that can work. I'm still not just a huge fan of getting out that way. So we're going to look at one more option, which I think may be our best bet, before we lock this plan in.
To be clear, there is another section of this park that is flat. The other side, yeah, it's mostly flat. that aren't dealing with these inclines. So there are sites to get to that don't have these hurdles.
Option number 3 would be to come out the way we came in, which is this way. And it's a very steep hill. If you didn't hear, just going up it empty, I spun these awesome Nexum tires just a little bit, and that means either taking a right out of our campsite, which we already determined is going to be pretty tough. So if we take the left, which is going to be the easiest way out of our site, and this is a pretty narrow little turn. We're going to have to get in the grass just a hair, but it's kind of tight, but we can make it. My worry here is in coming up this hill, and it's not about power, it's about traction. My concern is that as we come up here real slow to make this turn, I'm afraid we might have an issue breaking the back wheels loose just a little bit when we make that right-hand turn. And if that happens, we would just have to back it all the way down and take option 1 or 2 that we don't like. But I really like the idea of going out the way we came in. That way when we get down by the office, we can take a nice slow right, line up straight with the gate, get out, make a pretty easy right-hand turn at that point, and get on the road.
What door would you choose?
Every now and again we talk about trucks and truck capabilities. This is where you must know what your truck or tow vehicle is capable of, because if you're on the maximum end of your towing capacity or your truck's capacity and you're having to stop an RV like this on a downhill, or maybe you have to come to a complete stop and wait on somebody to get past you and you got to come from a dead stop and go straight uphill, that can be challenging. Even our truck, and we have no problem with power, payload, nothing with this truck. But because of the tires we have on here, when I had to stop setting like this the other day while Angela checked in, I spun a little bit. Make sure you're really comfortable with what's going on, and if in doubt, drive it out.
He says you can stay, but with the caveat that if your dog happens to bite anyone, the campground's not responsible for what happened.
Okay. I appreciate you checking into it, Brandon. We have resolution. Sort of. The campground did agree to let us stay the rest of the week since we're only here for a few more days. They wanted to make sure that we knew that if something happened and our dogs bit someone, that we were responsible, which we're kind of responsible anyways. So, and like we said, we're going to get it handled so that we have the proper documentation in the event that something did happen. We just needed to get through this week. And they have been very nice about the whole thing. So no one's mad here, but waiting for an answer. We kind of made some plan B, and we decided we're going to go ahead and go. We have a spot that we've been wanting to do, and it has never been in our travel route, just where it's positioned, but it's going to be on our way to Pennsylvania. So we're going to take advantage of it. So call this a mutual parting. Essentially, I looked at our route and found some points of interest that I had marked in my list already. Something that would allow us to get there before dark and help us on the back end and shorten our trip to Hershey. So I just booked it online. Normally I'll put in the notes, we really like fewer trees in our spot if possible, just for Starlink. But I also put, we will be arriving late. They have it on the door already for us. They picked a site that would be somewhat easy for us to get into since we'll be on the cusp of darkness and hoping for a good travel day. But first, I realized we never did a unique food in the state of Massachusetts. So I decided to take this upon myself and make a grape nut pudding. I'm actually going to read the instructions this time. Oh my goodness. Generations have savored this unassuming delicacy, treasuring its unexpected textural symphony. Silky custard mingles with crunchy cereal fragments, creating a sensory experience that defies the simple description. Each spoonful carries echoes of comfort and warmth, transforming these basic ingredients into a masterpiece, weaving together a tapestry of flavor and memory. I'm finding a different recipe. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's a little different, but be fine. Takes an hour. Well, we have an hour and 15 minutes before we need to leave. I need to turn this off and actually read so I can get this done. I did not read the ingredients. Not supposed to put those eggs in there.
I'm actually going to read the instructions this time.
Milk and grape nuts? Classic. Eggs, sugar, vanilla, salt. Eggs, sugar, vanilla, salt. Eggs, sugar, vanilla, salt. Teaspoon. Well, no nutmeg, but I have pumpkin spice. Freshly grated nutmeg coming right up. Teaspoon. Oh, that was supposed to go in the other bowl. 8-inch round pan coming right up. Sprayed with pan. Come on, simmer. Simmer for me. Let me see a simmer. What? Put in a roasting pan.
I'm actually going to read the instructions this time.
Pour water into the roasting pan, enough to reach halfway up the... Like a double boiler? If I destroy the kitchen before we need to leave, Cody's not going to be very happy with me. Yeah, I think this is going to work great. Real great. It wants me to wait for this mixture to cool before I put it in the oven, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why you would take a hot item, cool it down so it can go in the oven. That's dumb. And I'm out of time. Way out of time. We're pulling the power. I'm about to pull the slides in. I'm letting this oven kind of cool down a little bit. I think it's done. We can't leave here and not try it, so no time to let it cool. I've done that before, where I've put a really hot dish in the fridge to cool, and Cody saw our GOVEE temps shoot through the roof, so he thought, oh no, something is wrong with the fridge. It was just really hot. I missed an ingredient.
I'm actually going to read the instructions this time.
The brown sugar. There's nothing sweet about this. Cody's not going to like this, but he's going to try it. Okay, to make it official, we have to try our grape nut pudding. Okay. I did miss an ingredient, a pretty important one.
Which is?
I'll let you know here in a minute.
What ingredient did we miss? Sugar?
Yes.
Ooh. I mean, it's not terrible, but it sure needs sugar.
It's not terrible, but it's not great.
And it sure needs some sugar.
For now, it's gonna cool. Final answer, which way you want to go? I do not see a truck down this way.
I see a truck. You don't see a truck down that way?
I do not see a truck down that way.
But if we go that way, we got to make that hard left.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, I think we better just take this since it appears to be the safe bet. I mean, I'm probably going to kiss this tree right here a little bit, but...
Well, thankfully this truck wasn't here. That worked out.
Yeah, that worked out great.
No, you're good, I think. I do need to turn that key card in, though. Nice work.
We're out.
We'll tack a little time onto our trip by taking this route that we drove out at lunch, but you're right. I don't know if we could have cut that or not.
5 o'clock, people were getting in from work, I guess. I saw a few trucks come in, and I thought, I don't want to be a jerk and get in somebody's way. I'll just take the longer way around. We'll be all right.
Well, the great news about this route is that it comes to a stoplight. So that might be perfect anyways.
We're through the things we had some anxiety about. And I bring this up and we show these examples because we know not everybody out there is a veteran RVer. There's a lot of people that are new, or maybe you haven't been doing it very long, or maybe you did like us. Our whole first year, we basically went to KOA, so it was easy in and easy out, and then we started just slowly getting into some more difficult locations. If in doubt, walk it out. Walk around the campground, drive around the campground, mentally put the trailer behind you. Don't be afraid to get out there and try it. Don't give up a great spot because it's a little bit hard to get in or out of. Just take your time.
It's good for us, keeps us on our toes. I'm sorry for making a bad name for your grape nut pudding, but with the caramelized brown sugar on top, it's really good. Real healthy. Home sweet home for a few days. We'll see you next time. The foot.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Did you plotting it down there? So it's not that it's not something that we haven't. That was a lot of negatives. Oh, we're out of order.
There's a ruin.
12.
There's a bit of a ruin down there and over there.
You found ruins.
It's not the destination, it's the journey.
We failed at finding a unique restaurant. A great foot. And I'm gonna try to make a great, where to from here? I don't know where we're going from here. I see a trail. Where does this go?
And with that said, we're gonna let Ange make our decision.
No, I'm not making the decision. I'm not taking responsibility for this. Don't deal my belly.